So hi you guys, I don't know if it's just me that's wondering this, but are we supposed to be adding hair supplements to our regimen? Because lately my timeline on almost every social media platform has been flooded by hair supplement ads, mainly Minoxidil. And then even the orange one, Mary Ruth's the liquid vitamin that the girlies are taking. It has been all over the place.
Multivitamin. I take liquid vitamins.
So some people didn't want to believe me when I told them JT put me onto this hair growth liquid vitamin, but y'all might believe Big Lotto instead. The hair growth from this liquid vitamin is no joke, guys. I told you guys once before and I'm telling you again. Click that shop link and check it out.
And so I'm just wondering, like, are you girlies taking hair supplements, and am I supposed to be taking supplements as well? Because that's something that I actually don't have in my regimen that I'm thinking about, although I do have multivitamins. So let's talk about it. So there is a rise of wellness culture on social media, hair goals, influencers that are pushing quick fixes for things where it almost feels like we are normalizing taking hair supplements. And if you're not taking them, then it's a missing step, a very critical and missing step in your hair routine. Have you subscribed yet? If you haven't and you've gotten this far into the video, I think you should subscribe. And from a lot of the instances that I've seen on social media, hair supplements are marketed more as like a beauty issue than a health issue. Where when the girlies are testing out the Minoxidil or they are testing out the Mary Ruths, you know, they'll show you like a before and after of maybe their edges, where it's like at first it's really scanty, it's not really there, and then maybe 3 weeks, a month later, it's, you know, it's, you can actually see it for yourself that it's grown. And it's not just one girly, it's a lot of them, a lot of positive reviews for this. But then something that I've realized from this hair growth journey is that prioritizing health over aesthetics is so important. So it's like when you look at it surface level, your hair looks better, and so it's like, yes, it's helping your hair, but then what's going on internally? You know, is there anything else that's thrown off balance? Because you're then taking so much of this product that has a whole lot of other vitamins and minerals, but you're only focusing on hair growth. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense.
I seen a friend who had purchased the Mary Ruth's vitamin, and I had asked her how she liked it, and she was like, you know, I like it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and try it. I bought it, and I was taking it for like a month. Then I had a doctor's appointment. I had to get my blood ran for my titers for school, and my doctor called me. He's like, I need you to come in for more testing. Your liver enzymes are really elevated.
So looking at Minoxidil, right, we know that it originally was used as a high blood pressure medication, but now it has been FDA approved as a hair regrowth treatment. And so a lot of people now are using it as a hair regrowth treatment. And not only that, but it's being marketed as a hair regrowth treatment. And so what I also found out when I looked into it is that yes, it can work, but then you have to use it continuously, where when you stop using it, I believe from what I've seen, and I could be wrong, so let me know if I'm missing something, where if you stop using it, then you just stop seeing progress. If you've gotten this far into the video and you haven't subscribed, I think you should subscribe. And if you also look into the comments, you're going to see other people saying the same thing. They're testifying for the product as well, saying that it helped. And you see other girlies who will say that, no, actually it didn't work for me. I had scalp irritation. I actually didn't even see any change. I saw one comment that said, I'm going to try it. I'm going to get back with an update. And then you have people reply under her comment asking for an update. And she finally responded and she said, well, yeah, there was a lot of hair growth everywhere but my scalp. And there's other girlies who you see like hair growth around like the chin area, a lot of just hair growth everywhere. Whereas with Mary Ruth, this is marketed as this gentle, clean, gluten-free, plant-based multivitamin, packed with biotin, packed with folate, packed with vitamin B12. And I believe these are water soluble. So yes, there's a lower risk of toxicity with water soluble vitamins, as opposed to the fat soluble vitamins, which dissolve in fats and are stored in the liver and in fatty tissues. And so you have to be a little more careful because your body is storing these, which means that the probability for toxicity is much higher. And so going back to the Mary Ruth, it gets a ton of positive reviews, which makes, I'm sure, people want to go out and to get it, because word of mouth, testimonials, that's usually what drives us to make purchases. And so you see the girlies say, not only did my hair grow, but it grew thicker, it grew longer, and not only that, but my skin cleared up, and not only that, but my nails are growing thicker, and they're growing thicker, longer. But my nails are growing longer, and my nails are growing longer fast.
Hair growing, skin glowing. I'm losing weight, y'all. Life isn't so good for me. Look at the hair though.
Even when you go into the comments, you still see more testimonials of people who have tried it and it's worked for them. And then of course you'll see the 1 or 2 comments in there scattered around that say, well, actually the biotin levels was kind of high, and so my body didn't react well to the biotins. I broke out a lot. And others will say, well, I didn't really see any results, or they'll talk about like the side effects, having like an upset stomach, but it's very few and far between. Very few and far between. If you've gotten this far into the video and you haven't subscribed, I think you should subscribe. So now the reason I'm like, we kind of have to be cautious, or I kind of have to be cautious, is because at the end of the day, how sustainable is this? Not just for my body, but for my pockets. Apparently, so 1 month supply of Mary Ruth's is $75, and so you take it for a month, and then the next month you have to pay $75 again for the next supply, and then $75 continuously. So it's like, while it's great for right now, how is it going to affect my pockets continuously? Am I going to be able to keep up? Is it sustainable? You know, same as just the actual intake of it, where it's like too much of anything is actually bad. You don't need too much, you just need enough of something. So say for example, you're taking a multivitamin with all these different vitamins, and you realize that most of those vitamins you're actually not deficient in, but then you're taking a multivitamin that has a really high concentration of a lot of these vitamins that you are not deficient in, that you do not need, but you continue to take. Of course you need iron, you know, for healthy hair. You need folate, you need vitamin B's for healthy hair, but you don't need too much. You need just enough of them.
I came across this girl on TikTok, and she's an organ failure because she was taking a multivitamin. Not the same one, but they have the same ingredients. So I'm going through the comments, and there are literally women saying that their liver enzymes were also elevated whenever they were taking the Mary Ruth vitamins. So I stopped and I emailed my doctor. My doctor told me products are always going to tell you the good, but they're never going to tell you the bad. And he just advised that me and anybody for that matter do consult with their PCP before they pick up a new vitamin or supplement. I just want to de-influence y'all.
And so when you look at the videos and you go into the comments, you see 1 or 2 comments that also encourage you to go get your blood work done, because again, you don't want to be ingesting something that you already have enough of, because then it's overdose. But while yes, it's kind of very rare to overdose on water soluble vitamins, but at the end of the day, it's like, do you want to spend all that money on all of these different nutrients that you don't need, that you're going to end up excreting? Where it's like, not only are you excreting the excess, but you're excreting the money that you put into the bottle. Does that make sense? Or maybe I'm just thinking too much into it. The next thing to be cautious about, I think, is that supplements are not a substitute for TLC for your hair. They're not a substitute for getting enough sleep, for drinking enough water, for getting good nutrition. The actual fruits, you know, the actual greens, you know, they're not a replacement. Supplements are supposed to supplement. Yes, the aesthetic side of things is really great, and that's what we've done for the longest, where it's like a lot of us don't have great relationships with our hair because we've prioritized and we've put on the pedestal the aesthetics, the looks of things. Sometimes we don't even want to deal with the health of our hair, that we just end up hiding it entirely. We get it out of the way entirely and we put on something else that's like, oh, this looks better. As I'm talking about it, I'm not shaming anybody. I'm speaking from personal experience. And also, Black women are not a monolith. Every Black woman's hair experience is very different. So I'm very much speaking of my own self. But that's a cycle, that is a trend that I'm trying to break for myself too, where it's like, yes, your edges will look really good, but then how else is that multivitamin, how else is that minoxidil going to affect my body? You know, health over aesthetics. Well, you can have both, but then I think health goes first and then aesthetics, if that makes sense. If you've gotten this far into the video and you haven't subscribed, I think you should subscribe. And I know that, you know, in this industry, especially with the marketing, there's so much hype around products and consumerism, where it's really important to be diligent in the choices that we make. But I also understand that real experiences matter. And yes, while what works for someone might not work for me, hearing someone else's experience helps me to make my own informed decision, or at least points me in the right direction that I should be going, or that we should be going, that the girlies should be going, that we don't even know about. That when we get there, we realize, oh, this actually does work for me, or we realize it doesn't work for me, but I tried. Right? I tested it out at the very least. So to close this out, I'm very much curious about what you all are doing. What are the girlies doing? Are you taking supplements for your hair? How are you taking them? Have you seen results? What's worked and what has not worked? So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.